Good day. Welcome to Gordon's Garage. I'm Gordon. How's it going? And I'm one of those people who does all kinds of different things. And today I was out trimming my roses and I came across one of my dark garden decorations, which is a lobster. And the poor guy's looking kind of sad. His paint's starting to fade away and everything. And he's not feeling quite the lobster he should be. So we're going to airbrush him back, put some dull coat on him so he's nice and good to go for another year. So let's get set up. You get to see the airbrush in action and everything. And like I said, in Gordon's Garage, we do all kinds of different things. And right now, we're going to do a little airbrushing. And if you like what you see, subscribe and give me a thumbs up of a like. I appreciate that kind of stuff. So hey, here we go. Stand by for action. Okay, well, Mr. Lobster, he's outside drying because I washed him off before I paint him so he's nice and clean. I thought I'd walk through just how I'm going to do this and what I'm going to use. I'll be using my airbrush here, and I have a little airbrush holder, but I'll be using my airbrush here. It's my double action one like I mentioned, and I'll be hooking it up to my little air compressor that you see down here, the nice little blue thing in the corner. And this is from a Master's airbrush kit that I got for a gift, which was very, very nice of somebody to give me, because I don't do that much airbrushing, so I won't claim to be anywhere near a professional or anything, but I do like trying new things, and the airbrush is something new for me, and if you have one, so maybe something new for you. Now I'm going to use a ready to pour hot tomato red for my lobster. I think that'll look pretty good. And I got the cleaner to clean my airbrush when I'm all done. And I've got thinner in case the paint's a little too thick, but since I have ready to pour and ready to use, I won't have to use the thinner at this time. Here's a little tip though. I like to seal my objects or models when I get done painting in a little coat, either gloss or dull coat. In this case, I'll use dull coat. And I use a little tester spray can. Well, I have a few of these, and if you're a modeler and stuff, you probably may too. But what I do is, when I start using one, is I put a mark on the top of the cap. That way, when I go in to get more, I know I'm using the one I've already used, and I'm not going through different cans, so it becomes a moment where I want to do this, and I have 3 or 4 cans with very little spray left in them. So that's just a little tip that I use, the way I mark my stuff, so that I can keep track of what I'm using, because I use a lot of different products and stuff. And if that works for you, fantastic. All right, well, let's get Mr. Lobster back inside and let's get him some paint on him, huh? All right, stand by for action. Okay, so I put paint into the chamber for my airbrush, so I'm going to start giving it some air. You hear the air. And I'm just going to shoot until I see some paint, and there's the paint. So let's start getting Mr. Lobster. Okay, a little closer. And a little less air, a little more paint. And we're just going to slowly go over all the places he needs it. And I'm going kind of close, so it gives me a nice solid hit with paint, but that's how we do it. So I'm going to run through this whole thing with red paint, and we'll see how we look when we're done. Okay, here, let's see how we do. Okay, Lenny the lobster is looking pretty good, so I need to clean off my airbrush now. So I've taken a couple paper towels, and as you can see from the paint color, I've just basically wiped out the bowl and everything. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of thinner to cut that paint down at the bottom. And then I'm just going to shoot it. And let it start cutting through that paint and everything. And then use some cleaner at the end to make sure that my airbrush is nice and clean. So when you get done painting, make sure you clean your airbrush really good so it doesn't clog on you in the future. Okay, we have Lenny all ready to go outside and get a dull coat. But before we do that, we made sure that we put away all our chemicals into their proper places and cleaned up our area, because safety first. A clean workplace is a safe workplace. Keep yourself safe. So let me take Lenny outside, give him a couple coats of dull coat, bring him back inside, and we'll take another look. Okay, I've brought Lenny back in. You can see he's all ready to go back out in the backyard for another year. He looks really good. Beady little eyes, all nice and black. And there we go, got a little dull coat on him, keep him some protection from the elements, so he should be good for another year. There we go, something a little bit different. See you next time at Gordon's Garage.